Jai Hare Krishna. So we are continuing to read the Nectar of Instruction by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is Shravanam Diaries podcast, and I am your host, Sulalita Devidasi, at your service. So, text 5, page 50. The chanting of the holy names of Krishna is so sublime that if one chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra offenselessly, carefully avoiding the 10 offenses, he can be, certainly, gradually elevated to the point of understanding that there is no difference between the holy name of the Lord and the Lord himself. One who has reached such an understanding should be very much respected by neophyte devotees. One should know for certain that without chanting the holy name of the Lord offenselessly, one cannot be a proper candidate for advancement in Krishna consciousness. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 22.69, it is said, Yahara komala shradha se kanishtha jana, krame krame tenho bhakta haibe uttama. Quote, one whose faith is soft and pliable is called a neophyte, but by gradually following the process, he will rise to the platform of first-class devotee. Unquote. Everyone begins his devotional life from the neophyte stage, but if one properly finishes chanting the prescribed number of rounds of Hari Nama, he is elevated step by step to the highest platform, Uttama Adhikari. The Krishna consciousness movement prescribes 16 rounds daily because people in the Western countries cannot concentrate for long periods while chanting on beads. Okay, so Prabhupada is like, we have prescribed 16 rounds because people in Western countries cannot concentrate for long periods while chanting on beads, right? Because therefore the minimum number of rounds is prescribed. Hare Krishna. However, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that unless one chants at least 64 rounds of japa, 100,000 names, he is considered fallen, patita. So chanting at least 64 rounds. According to his calculation, practically every one of us is fallen, but because we are trying to serve the Supreme Lord with all seriousness and without duplicity, we can expect the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is famous as Patita Pavana, the deliverer of the fallen. Haribol! When Srila Satyaraja Khan, a great devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, asked the Lord how a Vaishnava could be recognized, the Lord replied, Prabhu kahe yandra mukhe shuni ekabara, Krishna nama sei pujya shreshta sabakara. Quote, if one hears a person say even once the word Krishna, that person should be accepted as the best man out of the common group. Unquote. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 15.106. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, Ataeva yandra mukhe eka Krishna nama, Sahita Vaishnava kariha tanhara samana. Quote, one who is interested in chanting the holy name of Krishna, or who by practice likes to chant Krishna's names, should be accepted as a Vaishnava and offered respects as such, at least within one's mind. Unquote. Chaitanya Charitamrita 15.111 Madhya Lila. One of our friends, a famous English musician, has become attracted to chanting the holy names of Krishna, and even in his records he has several times mentioned the holy name of Krishna. At his home, he offers respect to the pictures of Krishna and also to the preachers of Krishna consciousness. In all regards, he has a very high estimation of Krishna's name, for Krishna's name, and Krishna's activities. Therefore, we offer respect to him without reservation. For we are actually seeing that this gentleman is advancing gradually in Krishna consciousness. Such a person should always be shown respect. The conclusion is that anyone who is trying to advance in Krishna consciousness, simply by regularly chanting the holy name, should always be respected by Vaishnavas. On the other hand, we have witnessed that some of our contemporaries, who are supposed to be great preachers, have gradually fallen into the material conception of life because they have failed to chant the holy name of the Lord. While giving instructions to Sanatana Goswami, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu divided devotional service into 3 categories. Shastra yukti nahi jane dridha shradhavan, madhyamadhikari se mahabhagyavan. Quote, a person whose conclusive knowledge of the Shastras is not very strong, but who has developed firm faith in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and who is also undeterred in the execution of his prescribed devotional service, should be considered a Madhyamadhikari. Such a person is very fortunate. Unquote, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 22.67. A Madhyamadhikari is a Shradhavan, a staunchly faithful person, and he is actually a candidate for further advancement in devotional service. Therefore, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 22.64 it is said, Shradhavan Janahaya Bhakti Adhikari Uttama Madhyama Kanishta Shradha Anusari. Quote, one becomes qualified as a devotee on the elementary platform, the intermediate platform, and the highest platform of devotional service, according to the development of his Shraddha, faith. Again, in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 22.62 it is said, Shraddha Shabde Vishwasakahe Sudridha Nishchaya Krishna Bhakti Kaila Sarva Karma Kritahaya. Quote, by rendering transcendental service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. This confident, firm faith favorable to the discharge of devotional service is called Shraddha. Shraddha, faith in Krishna, is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Faith means strong faith. The words of Bhagavad Gita are authoritative instructions for faithful men, and whatever Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita is to be accepted as it is, without interpretation. This was the way Arjuna accepted Bhagavad Gita. After hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna told Krishna, Sarvam etadritam manyeyan mam vidasi Keshava. Okay, I'll read it properly. Sarvam etadritam manyeyan mam vadasi Keshava. Vadasi. Quote, O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Bhagavad Gita 10.14. This is the correct way of understanding Bhagavad Gita, and this is called Shraddha. It is not that one accepts a portion of Bhagavad Gita according to his own whimsical interpretations and then rejects another portion. This is not Shraddha. Shraddha means accepting the instructions of Bhagavad Gita in their totality, especially the last instruction, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. abandon all varieties of religion, and just surrender unto me." Unquote, Bhagavad Gita 18.66. When one becomes completely faithful in this regard to this instruction, one's strong faith becomes the basis for advancing in spiritual life. When one fully engages in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he gradually realizes his own spiritual identity. Unless one faithfully chants the Hare Krishna mantra, Krishna does not reveal himself. Sevonmukhehi jihvadau svayam eva spuratyada. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.234. We cannot realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead by any artificial means. We must engage faithfully in the service of the Lord. Such service begins with the tongue, Sevonmukhehi jihvadau, which means that we should always chant the holy names of the Lord and accept Krishna prasadam. We should not chant or accept anything else. When this process is faithfully followed, the Lord reveals himself to the devotee. When a person realizes himself to be an eternal servitor of Krishna, he loses interest in everything but Krishna's service. Always thinking of Krishna, devising means by which to spread the holy name of Krishna, he understands that his only business is in spreading Krishna consciousness, the Krishna consciousness movement, all over the world. Such a person is to be recognized as an Uttama Adhikari, and his association should be immediately accepted according to the 6 processes. Dadati Prati Grinnati, day before yesterday, the 6 loving exchanges. The previous text. Indeed, the advanced Uttama Adhikari, the advanced Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava devotee should be accepted as a spiritual master. Everything one possesses should be offered to him, for it is enjoined that one should deliver whatever he has to the spiritual master. The brahmachari in particular is supposed to beg alms from others and offer them to the spiritual master. However, one should not imitate the behavior of an advanced devotee or Mahabhagavata without being self-realized, for by such imitation one will eventually become degraded. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advises the devotee to be intelligent enough. Krishna Chaitanya. This is just summarizes the entire message, right? In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advises the devotee to be intelligent enough to distinguish between the Kanishtha Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. The devotee should also know his own position and should not try to imitate a devotee situated on a higher platform. This is very, very good for myself. I remember many times that, you miscalculate, you think you're too transcendental, and then it's not pretty. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given some practical hints to the effect that an Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava can be recognized by his ability to convert many fallen souls to Vaishnavism. One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttama Adhikari. A neophyte Vaishnava or a Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples, but such disciples must be on the same platform, and it should be understood that they cannot advance very well toward the ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance. Therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept an Uttama Adhikari as a spiritual master. Haribo! I really love this purport. One of the main reasons is that it's a perfect reality check, and it's a perfect guidance to actually not be involuntarily cheated, you can say, because all of us are sometimes, if we don't carefully discriminate and be intelligent enough to not get ourselves into trouble and to actually advance. And this particular point about, you can actually judge advancement by faith, strong faith, and chanting of the holy names of the Lord. When someone really, like for myself, I can really say that, when there are times when some mercy, some blessings are coming and you feel so empowered, but then you take a closer look, you ask yourself, do I really have that? Did my taste in chanting really, blossomed? And you realize, no, I still have some way to go. And then you actually are able to determine your own position in an honest and truthful way. Jai. So thank you so much for tuning in today. The link to this book is in the description. And tomorrow we're going to read text number 6.